coach of the Mary Freebed wheelchair lacrosse team, Tim Murray, learned early on that the key to success was having an open channel of communication between him and his players. In doing so, Murray found that the road to winning required blending his knowledge of the sport while adapting to the unique skill set of the players using chairs. Now in his 5th year, Murray enthusiastically believes that wheelchair lacrosse is on the rise while multiple teams are playing throughout the country.
So I've been the head coach at Grand Valley State University for this will be my 15th year. And about 6 or 7 years ago, I had a high school friend of mine that sent me a flyer saying that Mary Freebed was looking at hiring a wheelchair lacrosse coach. And my friend wanted to know if I happened to know of anybody who would be interested in taking that on. And I kind of read through it, and I was like, you know, this is something I want to take on. So I responded to that flyer and went in and interviewed with Kyle Ringwald at the time, who was the sports coordinator, and had a great conversation with him about where the sport was going, and we both kind of we had a connected vision for what it could be, and the rest is history. It's cliche, but it doesn't make it any less true. I've learned more from the players than the players have learned from me, and there's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. You know, coming into wheelchair lacrosse, I was a believer in the fundamentals. You know, we shoot overhand, and there's a right and a wrong way to do things, and all that. And I very quickly found out with teaching adaptive athletes that everyone's a little bit unique in far as what they can do and what they can't do from their skill set standpoint. You know, some adaptive athletes, you know, need to use one hand versus two when they're catching and throwing, and it just kind of works. So a lot of it, it's a lot more problem solving when, like, here are the obstacles, how do we overcome this to give each player the experience that they're looking for. The two sports that I think really kind of marriage well to lacrosse are basketball and hockey. The skill sets are transferable, whether it's the chair skills or the hand-eye coordination. Those soft skills, those are transferable between sports. And so, you know, we find that players with a background in either one of those sports really find a lot of success on the lacrosse floor. What we try to do offensively is we try to put the defense, the defenders, in conflict, right? Like, we want to make them make decisions and then be able to exploit their decisions. So, you know, we want to make sure that through ball movement or spatially through player movement, we're creating scenarios for the defense where they don't know whether they should help out with the ball or if they need to tend to their own man off ball. And kind of any decision is the wrong decision if we execute correctly. So it's really just kind of a mix of space and movement, both with the players and with the ball, to kind of create opportunities where we kind of sneak someone open. You know, we always say, like, this is kind of a battle for the middle of the floor. Defensively, we want to force people down the alley, because every time, you know, every foot you go down the alley is less angle that you have to shoot. And conversely, offensively, we want to get to the middle of the floor, because every foot you get to the middle is, you know, another 10 degrees of angle that you have to shoot for. So it's really, for us, we envision it as just kind of a battle for the middle of the floor supremacy. And defensively, we want to funnel them down the alleys to the corners of the floor. And offensively, we really want to attack the middle of the floor. Some of the goalies will use kind of the hockey uppers and some shin pads, which isn't typical, you know, not legal for field lacrosse. But as far as the players, like, they all have the elbow guards, the helmets, the chest protectors, you know, everything that they wear the regular equipment. The same standard of rules as field lacrosse. As long as you're within 5 yards of a loose ball or something like that, like, there's checking. It's a physical sport, and I think that's kind of the draw to it. You know, there is that element of athleticism and physicality, and I think that's what players really like.
Okay. So you gotta be smart.
When we started out, you know, again in 2019, we came to Milwaukee. It was my first wheelchair lacrosse tournament, and we had 3 players, and had, you know, Milwaukee had to loan us some players. We didn't have a goalie, and we were just kind of we were a mess, you know. And you know, fast forward today, you know, we have a youth program that we started, you know, youth lacrosse, and we have a full roster and some consistency with our athletes, and their skill sets are really starting to develop. And you know, I think we're having a lot of fun, and it's just the program's just grown by leaps and bounds over the last 5-6 years. I think lacrosse is a very addicting sport. You know, once you start it, it's difficult not to fall in love with it. And just seeing the growth of, you know, New Hampshire and Houston, To name a couple that are here this weekend. The amount of growth that they've shown, not in just a quantity of players that are involved, but the quality of lacrosse that they're playing. It really is pretty impressive to see. And I think, as more non-mainstream lacrosse areas are exposed to wheelchair lacrosse, I think we're going to see more and more growth as time marches on. Let's go! Let's go, bring it in. Frenzy on 3, 1, 2, 3. Frenzy!